Ciao and benvenuto. Today we're going to show you how to create the best customer service for your SaaS. So if you want to improve your customer service experience and you want to learn from someone that actually did it, today we're going to interview for you the CEO and co-founder at Pay Kickstart, Mark Thompson, that is going to show you how to better handle customer inquiries, how you can find new reps for your customer support, and more of this. So stay tuned and please subscribe. Who is Mark Thompson and what's the main mission at Pay Kickstart?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Mark Thompson. I'm one of the co-founders of Pay Kickstart. So we help digital companies, so SaaS companies, people running membership sites, online courses. Maybe you're running an agency. We really help to remove all of the technical hurdles that come with billing and affiliate management. So everything from accepting payment to managing recurring payments and managing affiliate partners. And so what we've tried to do is really remove all of the inefficiencies and all the technical know-how. So it's just point and click easy to start accepting payment and managing your billing.
How do the team behind the customer service reflect your message and your mission?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I think it's something that we've learned along the way, just because we're not a massive company. So there's about 15 to 20 employees from developers, designers, support staff, sales, marketing. So we're not a massive company, so we don't have everything documented down to the minute detail like a Fortune 500 company would. So a lot of everything that we've done to communicate to our customers our mission statement and what we stand behind has been kind of through trial and error and trying to figure out, well, what's the best way that we can support our customers. And I know early on we learned fairly quickly that in order to stand out from the crowd, we really had to stand behind our vendors and support them in overcoming the challenges that they have. And so everything that we've done, especially in the last probably year and a half, has been customer centric. So we've done a lot to overcome the hurdles that they have with getting set up with their account. And so Jordan can talk to that in more depth, but we've done like an in-app onboarding experience. We've tried to document everything that we possibly can in our knowledge base. So whenever there's a question that comes up, we go in and we try to create a knowledge base article so that they have step-by-step tutorials on how to make them successful with the platform. So really everything day in and day out is just trying to figure out how can we take our platform and give them the tools that they need to be successful in their own business, because we work with all different types of industries. They have different types of billing models. And so we wanted to make sure that it was flexible, but simple enough for them to use.
When you first discovered that you needed a strong customer service team behind the product, because when you build the product, you don't care at the very beginning that you might need a team. When you started to think about it, I need a team behind to help people.
Yeah, so I think early on, before we developed Pay Kickstart, we already had a list of customers who had purchased some of the products that we've created in the past. And so that was just a natural fit to tell them about Pay Kickstart. So when we released it to the general public, we told, a list of probably 100,000 customers to, hey, go and check out this new billing platform we have. And so that was a relatively easy thing to do because we already had a relationship with them. And so we didn't really even think, we weren't really focused on customer support because we already had the relationship with them. We're like, hey, because we have the relationship, hopefully they're going to want to jump on board and use our platform. And so we got a good number of people to start using it. And that was a really nice way for us to generate revenue early on. But then we quickly realized after we had kind of gone through our own internal list of customers and subscribers that, in order to kind of cater to the masses and get people to know more about us, we really had to put more effort into customer support because we're in a very competitive space. There are lots of different solutions out there that offer a way to accept payment. And so we needed to separate ourselves, and we found that our customer support, adding almost 24/7 live chat and having all of these self-service tools to help them be successful was really the name of the game, and that was what was going to separate us. And so when things started to get really exciting for us was when people were talking about us with a lot of word of mouth, and people were seeing like how good our customer support was. And Jordan and our team are deserve all of the credit, because they truly do go above and beyond and help them overcome any challenges they have to be successful with the platform. And so I would say probably a year into Pay Kickstart going live to the general public, that's when we really started to make that shift and to put more emphasis into customer happiness and making sure they're successful.
Wow, that's amazing, and I totally agree with you. And speaking of which, how did you find the right people, especially Jordan, and then the other people for the customer support team?
Yeah, so a lot of the people that we've gotten were from Upwork. So we're a virtual team. So we have people spread out all over the place. And I've always run businesses that way. And luckily, we've been very successful with it. We're kind of a lean company. We don't like to have a ton of overhead. We like to be efficient with our time. And I think Pay Kickstart is the perfect example of all the automation built in. A lot of what was built was for our own personal use, so we can minimize overhead and be as lean as possible and maximize profits, right? So, Jordan, I think we found Jordan on Upwork, which he's been like one of the biggest assets for our company. And then what we do is once we find someone that we know is a great fit for our business, our culture, we always try to find referrals. And we've done that a lot with our development team as well. If we find a really good developer, we say, hey, do you know other developers in, maybe, in your office, or other people that you've worked with in the past who would be interested? And so whenever we find someone that has great value, we try to, snatch them up, make sure that they're happy with what we're doing and kind of our vision. And Jordan's definitely a perfect reflection of that.
Or what should you at the very beginning when you onboard someone new?
Yeah, so whenever onboarding support representatives specifically, we definitely hold their hand for at least the first few weeks, because we want them to embed themselves into the platform and learn as much as they can, because as Mark mentioned earlier, we've got all kinds of vendors selling all types of services and products. So it's never just a copy paste type situation with our support team. So they learn the ins and outs. We do provide onboard documentation as well for them to learn the basics of the system. But I think originally starting off, especially with support representatives, just being there with them and showing them how we work currently and what we do is a big component of it. And then also having people that actually want to do the job and work for the company. Sometimes you have people that you think may be a great fit, but if they don't actually have that love for the product that you're trying to deliver, then obviously it's not going to work out.
So how can you be sure that they will be passionate enough about the product?
I think that just comes down to a bit of trial and error and the type of questions and communication you have with the person while you're still prospecting them for the position. I know a lot of people sometimes tend to just look over a resume and then scope the person out for a yes or no, but it's always good to dive in, have a few calls with the person, find out what they're doing currently, what they've done in the past, just to see if those type of skills will fit into what you're looking to deliver.
What's your process when someone reports a bugs?
Sure. So the process is actually quite simple, because we're not trying to complicate it. That just takes up more time. We have the two main channels, which are either email or chat through Customerly, obviously. And it all goes into support first to review and go over with the customer, to look into it, to see if we can actually handle it ourselves and basically confirm, is it a real bug? Once we actually do get to the point that it is a bug and we can't help the customer on our own, we then tag in our technical support team, which is a group of our developers, and we leave notes, simple notes, just putting all the needed information, the specific links, the customer information, a little excerpt about what exactly is going on, even a video if possible. And the way that we have it set up in Customerly, we actually have two different groups. One is for support and one is for tech support. So after we add that note, we actually just assign it over to our tech support team, and support will continue monitoring to basically keep in touch with the customer. We're always going to stay with them. There's never any disconnect in that sense. So because we're not trying to just let them go into the flow,
Of
basically.
course.
Um, so once they actually, the developers are able to identify the bug and push a fix for it, then they'll assign it back over to us, which we will then follow up with the customer to help explain the situation that was going on, the fix that we pushed in, if they need to take any additional steps from there.
Okay, that's a good process. Are you going to follow up with the user if it's not an easy to fix bug? Like if you know that the developer is going to take 1 week maybe to fix that, how can you keep the conversation? And can you track the conversation with the user? Are you going to follow up to reassure them that it's going to be fixed? What's your main strategy here?
So 90% of the time is if it's a serious bug, we usually fix it with our development team within 24 hours. So there's no delay in follow-up. If it is something that's going to take a few days or even a week or more, we will typically keep that original ticket open via either email or chat. And we'll maintain communication with the customer, following up at least every 24 hours to let them know what's going on. The goal, we're never trying to just send people away if something's going on. We understand, especially due to the nature of our platform and regarding payments, that they always want to be up to date as much as possible. So yeah, we try as little as possible to leave the customer in the dark.
So how would you handle a downgrade or cancellation request?
Sure. Actually, as of right now, our support team is mainly handling sales and downgrade requests too, just because it kind of seems to flow so well into the support aspect anyway. We always provide self-service options. So if the customer just wants to do it by themselves, obviously they have that option. But if they do reach out to us, we're going to first try to identify a little bit more of the situation to understand either why they're wanting to downgrade, to remove features, or cancel altogether. If it does come to the point that we're not able to assist with the reason that they're wanting to cancel or downgrade, we will help them. And it's something that support manages inside the same chat or ticket that they start with us originally.
How often do you update your knowledge base articles?
The knowledge base articles themselves, as soon as there's an update, we get a notification from the development team regarding that. And especially if it's something that changes either with the setting instructions or the UI that we need to change screenshots, that's going to be done either within the same week, but typically the same day. We try not to have outdated help articles because that typically just causes an increase of support requests.
That's true. That's true. Do you have a separate team that is handling the articles writing, or are you doing with the customer service team?
As well, it's a great learning experience for us to actually dive into the platform and the components as well. So the team, we take turns creating specific components of the articles, and it seems to work better because then we also gain that valuable knowledge while we're putting the article together, and then can confirm that the instructions are correct too based on the workflow.
Do you have an internal documentation that is something private for the team onboarding, or are they consulting the public documentation as the customers?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I guess it depends on who we're hiring. So if it's a developer, we definitely have more of a technical roadmap or an SOP that they need to follow. And usually within the first week or two, we're monitoring them. So all the developers are kind of helping out to ensure that the new developer is following the workflow. So that's usually from a technical standpoint. From more of like a customer support or sales and marketing, it could be a combination of just learning the platform itself, right? So it could be, watching a demo of the software. I know whenever, like if we hire a customer success person, Jordan will have them go through and look at some of the actual tickets, some of the issues that people have had, look at some of the previous responses. We have a whole bunch of canned responses as well. So going through those canned responses so they know what are some of the most frequently asked questions, how can we improve on those canned responses to minimize back and forth. So it really depends on the role, but to answer your question, it's usually a combination of public-facing documents as well as some internal stuff as well.
Any resource you would suggest to better handle the customer service?
We've done a couple of things. So there's lots of onboarding tools that people use. We actually decided to create our own onboarding, like a custom onboarding experience. So that was one thing that's really helped with customer support, just getting them, trying to get them to first value as quickly as possible is so important. And so our in-app onboarding experience is meant to get them to that aha moment. One thing we did add to the onboarding experience, which has really helped, is having a little call to action for them to schedule a 30-minute onboarding call with Jordan or someone from our team. So if they still are hung up somewhere, they can jump on a call with one of our guys, and then we can help them overcome that. Because one thing that we have found is that the churn rate drops dramatically if we can get them to create their first campaign, their first product in the system, and they can start accepting payment. And so, those knowledge-based articles really helps. The onboarding experience really helps. Having that ability to jump on a quick call, because once they can get over that hurdle, that's really when things start to click. They understand the system, the learning curve drops dramatically, and they're on their way. So those types of things have been helpful. We do use a tool for managing our feature requests. What's the name of it, Jordan?
It's called Product Board.
Product Board. So Product Board has been helpful for managing feature requests. So, I'm sure Jordan can tell you better than I can, but every single day people want more and more features, right? And it was so hard to manage those. And so now we can direct people to one centralized location. They can vote on them. They can add comments. We can update people when those features are live, and they're able to see in real time what exactly we're working on, what things have just recently been pushed. So it kind of keeps everybody in sync.
What's your thinking about how important is the customer feedback to improve your product? Because you have your vision for your own product, right, and then you've got maybe 100 requests to improve the product. So what's the balance of features to develop in terms of your vision and the product request from the customers?
Yeah, it's easier said than done. We try to be as customer centric as we possibly can. So I think in the early days, a lot of it was, hey, let's build this thing for kind of like what we envision people are going to want. And so a lot of what we added early on was really for us. I mean, Pay Kickstart started as an internal tool to sell our own products. And then obviously it has evolved over the last 4 or 5 years. And so I think, what's really nice about using Product Board and having the feature requests and having people be able to vote, we can really start to see what needs to be prioritized. And you'll start to notice that things start to rise to the top. More people are asking for the same things. And so as long as you're listening to them and you give them an outlet or a platform to be able to contribute and voice their opinion, then it's our job to be able to listen to that, be able to prioritize it appropriately, and then adjust our roadmap accordingly. And so I think, now fast forward, it's been over 4 years now since we launched to the general public. There's big data issues that we're dealing with. There's obviously security is more important than ever before. User experience is so important. And so, while we've continued to add more and more features, we've started to back down on the number of features because we really need to ensure that the integrity of the platform is sound, and that what Pay Kickstart does the best, we need to make sure that that core functionality is super smooth, that people aren't getting errors. And so each day in and day out, we're always improving on the core functionality, but then always listening. So it's a juggling act, right? Trying to make sure that things load fast and that the experience is great, but then also when people are needing flexibility, they need more features, we're listening to them as well. So it's a balancing game.
Do you have any additional resource like book or courses, Jordan? Maybe you're more into the field, to suggest to customer success team that want to improve their customer service?
I think one of the main components is you have to also be a person that really enjoys supporting and helping people. The position isn't for everyone. But I think in regards to a specific book, one that I probably keep going back to over and over, it's called The Effortless Experience. It's by Matthew Dixon. It really touches on all the great key points of more or less not necessarily support in itself, but striving to be more of a customer success team and be proactive towards the customer. So it's definitely a great read.
Thank you so much, guys, for sharing it. I believe that this is a very strong starting case where our customers can benefit from. So it has been a pleasure, and congrats on your work, because you're doing an amazing job, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Luca, and congratulations on everything that's going on with Customerly. We love the platform. It's helped us to scale our business. So thanks so much.
I love it, and that's why I'm building this, because I love to help people, and this is the way I can be like rewarded of what we are doing and the amount of work we are putting into. So thank you so much for your feedback and your time. Thank you, guys.